Rotate your phone.
What?
What?
Look.
You might want to start it over.
Forget that.
Yeah, one again. Here's one again.
Yes.
This is
Did it come up? It
this
did.
package is, I believe, my thing to cover my scooter so I don't have to bring it in the house.
Your scooter raincoat.
It's a raincoat. It was not a very expensive one, so I can't believe it's tremendously good, but why don't you put it in the basket?
I shall.
Thank you very much. I
Pleasure.
appreciate that.
Oh. And Janine's just in the background over there.
And she's got the mail in her lap.
No, that's her mail.
It's all hers? I
Well,
didn't get any.
might be Bill's though. Wanda, let's just leave her. Leave her with it. So
we're full.
the camera is over there today.
Camera's over there, okay.
We're having a bit of a shake up.
Shake up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, shake.
Yeah.
in Massachusetts. Yeah.
That's what we're up to. And
So
it
I
was
just- I-
Thursday all day.
All day, it says so right there.
Yeah, no, I checked.
That thing is good.
That's a
up here.
bit of a lifesaver, that
It
thing
is very
actually.
good. It also tells you it's evening, it's not morning.
You're older and
Yeah.
not ready,
I've had that problem.
then,
You wake up at 4 o'clock and it's dark out, you're not sure who there is, etc.
And you're thinking, can I start calling people or is it in the morning?
Right,
So, you went out today.
I did.
I just wanna.
I did, I had to plan on it, so at the last minute I put myself together and got the car.
And
You know,
was that a new job?
so
It is a new, I had not been to this place
by
before.
putting them into a pipeline.
It was in Essex,
They would go slow.
it's Essex,
Do that.
Senior Hangout Center, or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Council on Aging.
Don't come up on me.
I would love that, but, they're just expensive.
She
and
can't jump, I don't think.
I think she's
It's
slipping on
slippery
the floor.
floor.
It's like, here, let me do
It's really
this.
hard to place anything at all.
There we go. That's better now?
Paid prices, so we're gonna go up this year, and
So,
we're full already.
Yes,
Because
so,
we've already taken enough risk with old geezers
it was
that were
about
living
15
on the field,
people.
but
I went with Jake, who is our new intern,
yes.
and I didn't find out what his name was till I got home.
Away a little earlier,
So, hey, you.
so
Um,
it's a tough decision, but
And you took the dogs.
it's better.
Oh yeah, I took the dogs, and they were fine.
Yeah.
And I gave Jake a few training lessons with Penny,
All right, yeah, bye-bye.
just, he, as everybody does, grab hold and hang on. I said, no, you either relax it and hang, let it hang, or you give it a jerk.
You coming in too?
Yes, that was just a woman who has, this woman has 5 horses. They're, and she's got dementia, so she can't take care of them anymore. And we take them. They're all in their 20s, late 20s. And get this, they've never been ridden.
What?
Yeah, they're not broke. I'm like,
Can we
20-year-old
swap you for the 3 we
yeah,
have?
really, no, you better.
You've missed an opportunity
Yeah, well,
there.
I mean, I hate to say it, all I said was, well, sorry, we can't take them because we already are full of horses. But at the end of the day, if you got to be really careful about giving those horses away for free because their only value is for slaughter.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, I think I'll find somebody. I'm like, really careful of who, shows
Is
up.
that the dementia person you're talking to?
No, it's her sister,
Oh.
not a horse person. I said, because people are going to want them for slaughter and nothing else, because they're not rideable.
What's the matter with putting them to sleep?
Well, that's what I said, is you may want to consider that, and she was a little offended. And she's like, they're beautiful horses.
It's better than the other option.
And I'm like, sure, we got a bunch of beautiful ones we're trying to rehab right now.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, really, like, well, first of all, we don't have room, and I don't, those are tough ones.
That's a lot of hay
It's a lot of hay. Yeah.
and manure.
And a lot of work. She said, well, they've been out, the woman who owns them has a 100-acre field that she's been,
So they're feral.
pretty much. Yeah, you gotta come catch them too. So they've probably been just living off the field,
Yeah.
which is nice, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very
I
sad.
get that same phone call like once a week, and everybody always, more than that, twice a week.
The problem from the top down is there are not enough animal people in the country.
Yeah, you'd have to be.
We're all living in apartments now and then expecting perfect animal behavior elsewhere.
Right, and they don't understand
Doesn't understand.
what we're dealing with. I mean, we're already dealing with 3 of the worst. I don't know, did anyone get it online when that horse jumped out the window today? We had a horse
Out the window?
oh, jumped out the window, jumped out. We had the gate closed.
You know, the tubular gate. Not a stable
proper
door.
gate.
A proper gate.
Yeah, it's a proper gate. Yeah, it holds everything in.
Normally.
We had that shut. We had one horse outside because Elizabeth was on the phone about the one horse outside.
With the vet.
With the vet. Because it's very lame this morning. I don't know why. So we cleaned out its foot. And she's a nervous Nilly. She's the one that kicked me last week. Was it last week?
Noelle. Yeah.
Noelle, she kicked me. Like double barreled at me, but only got my arm.
No, that was humility.
Okay. No, that was Noelle. No. Noelle. Humility missed me.
Oh.
That was another time.
Oh.
These are tough horses. They're really tough horses. And humility gets you when humility, the thoroughbred, the boy, he has claustrophobia, and if you are standing between him and an open door, he will run you over, and if you're still standing, he'll kick you on the way out. So, but we're working on that. We're working on that. Wallace has got a walk trotting and canning. It's going really well. And I'm at the point where I can take him in and out of the stall. I didn't really pay much attention. I got out of the way until he finally kicked me, and then I was like, okay, it's time to stop doing this. He knocked Elizabeth over too. So, and of course Wallace comes in and the horse is like, fine. So he's learned that he's okay. But then, so Elizabeth is working with the one, I picked out her foot, I didn't see, she's 3-legged lame. She's on the phone with the vet. And I brought the other horses in and put them in a stall so that we could work with, because 3 of them, you were going to get kicked. They're running all over the place. So we got one out here, Elizabeth, on the phone with the vet. And so this one is locked in a stall with the gate that goes to the outside. She put her head out, and it's a metal gate. And I'm walking around like she's going to go through that. I'm walking around the other way. She's in the donkey stall, the donkey cam stall. Walking around the other way to open the door because I'm afraid she's going to like demolish the gate. And just as I start to open the door, she jumped up over the gate and went out. I mean, yeah, she made it up.
No. She didn't clear the gate.
Yeah,
she got the front 2 legs over, landed on her abdomen, teetered for a little bit, and then she brought her back 2 legs up, got her hooves on the top, and then bounced out.
Yeah, and she's on the phone with the vet. She's like, well, you might need to look at 2 horses.
Yeah, there's another one that's just come lame. As she hobbled off, and then got to the top of the hill, turned round, and trotted sound back
Yeah,
down
she was
it.
better, yes. Yeah, so that was the way our day started. But then I cleaned out the manure pile area, spotless, down to the stone dust. Put 2 mats down and a hay rack, so those 2 could eat. And you could go in and you could feed them the grain so there's no longer, we only have 2 to fight with, and then the lame one's by herself.
I don't know who it is.
That's Michelle.
Oh, that's Michelle.
I just see a head go up.
Yeah. So hopefully we've stabilized a little bit more. We only have another.
People don't realize.
Oh, yeah. Well, Elizabeth hit Willow came at her with her teeth out today.
I was grooming her because she needs hands on. So I was grooming her, and she put her ears back, and she turned around and just turned her head to me, and then put her head back. And I thought, So I thought, I very carefully went back to it, and she turned around with her mouth open to bite me. So I went on her nose.
I would have, yeah. Well,
And,
you always told me in those situations, take one of those curry combs that you use for the mane and tail, and if they bite slap them on the side of their face
Yeah.
when they come at you.
So,
But she did that on camera.
Cool.
So she's like, oh no.
well, the thing is, it was either me going to get bitten or I intercepted the blinking
From
horse.
what the people on the internet said, you better take the bite. It's better.
No.
I was about to say that.
No, I like my fingers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And then so today I go into the stall, in the second stall over. Humility's in there, and he's looking like I start to open the door, and he's looking like he's coming at me, and I spin the rope in front of my face and in front of his face to back him up and tell him, no, you're not going to run. I didn't hit him, I'm just spinning it. I'm like, I hope they can see I'm not actually hitting him, I'm just spinning it in front of his face. Because it's hard, because these horses are like this because people have let them run them over and let them bite them.
And it's also very difficult because when Wallace is working in the arena, if you've got the sound on, what humility does is he very much follows instruction until he doesn't.
Yeah.
So what Wallace does is he cracks the whip and it makes the most almighty crack, but it's actually on the ground. It's not on the horse.
Yeah, if you snap that thing, it's like
it sounds, you're like, oh my god. But he does it at the back of him to move him on.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think probably if you were sitting at the wrong angle, you'd be wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we're dealing with some pretty tough horses. So it's the only time if the donkey kicks me, I will kick it back. I think that's fair.
Fair play.
You could be fast.
No,
And if they come at me, I will slap them with the curry comb.
Yeah.
But most of the time, swinging the rope is enough.
Yeah. And we really actually like them when you say, no, back up, and they do that. That's preferable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But what
We're not
humility
up to
does
that
is
stage.
instead of going backwards, he plants his back feet and just the front comes up like he's about to dive at you. And you're like, no. And if you let him, that's the thoroughbred. If you let him get by you, and you can't get out of the way in time, you will get kicked at. And so that's really like, these horses are so bad. But I'm making progress with humility, I think. So humility is here for until the 15th. Wallace has him going really well. He's really good for Wallace. He's getting better for me. If he can go from the training that he's gotten here on Goldy's farm to someone who will just continue to work with the methodologies and be like really big and strong in front of him, he's a bully. He is a bully.
Yeah.
But if you are big and strong and you act like alpha, and he comes at you, you swing that rope in front of his face, and you growl at him and say a few naughty words, he will back off and he'll respect you. If he runs you over, he's always going to run you over. And that's how he ended up in the kill pen. I don't know how the other two came in the kill pen, but I'm sure it was similar.
I think she's had problems with her knees.
Who?
Noelle.
Noelle, yeah.
Because she's quite sweet normally.
I think she has a chip in her knee, and I think that lying down today, I think that the chip has moved. I think she's got to have a chip removed. That's my guess. Because we're talking about it. The symptoms of Noelle, either she has a broken leg or an abscess. I don't think it's an abscess.
I don't think it's a broken leg.
There's no nail in her foot.
No.
But I bet she has a chip in her knee that has moved someplace where it's painful and will gradually move someplace else, and she'll be back to normal again.
My word.
That's my assessment.
Have you got any ailments you'd like us to sort out?
No.
You sure?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We've got the equipment,
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about dogs, but I just. You guys have so much going on.
Yeah, well, the dogs aren't going to kill you. These horses that we have they've tried to kill us both. It's crazy. Right. Like, Murphy is a nice horse. There's nothing but love in that horse. But he could step on the worst thing he'd do is step on your foot.
Yeah.
But these guys,
These are thoroughbreds. The thoroughbreds are a pain in the ass. They always have been.
They're really tough. So,
did your husband not have thoroughbreds?
What?
Did your husband not have thoroughbreds?
he had race horses.
We had racehorses, and we had one born at our house,
Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah.
and we eventually raced it. Raced it in Maryland and all.
And were they thoroughbreds?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they were like, we had Gal Friday and Duke the Idiot, but we handled them properly from the beginning. But they weren't real thoroughbreds because they were tax deductions. Let's get this straight. Why my dad had a string of racehorses is there's a loophole in the tax. You get if you breed racehorses. I think this is still on the books today. If you breed racehorses in Massachusetts, you get all these great tax benefits. So my mother,
there's nothing attractive enough to start breeding thoroughbreds.
I know,
Ever.
but we bred, and we handled them from babies, all they had to do, based on the tax law, is like race once or twice a year. So literally, Gal Friday, she was our trail horse, and we rode her. But like once a year, she had to go out and race, and she was like dead last.
I had my trainer's license.
And you had your trainer's license.
In both Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
Yeah, so she would go and race once a year. And then we had Duke the Idiot, who was a little bit, she's kind of a handful. So no, you know, we only had Tommy Nugent would ride her and gallop her around the backfield. But literally, Gal Friday was like just another horse in the barn, a young thoroughbred, and someone would get on her and take her for a trail ride, and then it's Tuesday the 17th. She's got to be at a race tomorrow. And she would go to the race, and she was not a good racehorse. I think she came in third once. But Duke the Idiot was dead last on a good day. But
She also had club feet.
she had a club foot, yep. But every time it rained, she was first because she didn't want the mud in her face.
Ah!
So do you remember this? She won, she would have 10 races. And throughout the year, we raced her more because nobody else could ride her. She raced a couple times, and so like 5 times in a row, she was dead last. And then my dad would be like, "It's raining next Thursday," and so we would bring her we'd get her in on the claiming race on a Thursday, like anybody could race there. And my dad would put a ton of money on her.
Yeah.
On a rainy day, and one time he won $10,000.
I don't remember that one, but go ahead.
He took, I remember this because he was so nervous getting all that money, he took all the back roads home.
Oh!
$10,000, yep. Yeah, so, but those, and then we had Tony, who we had, I remember.
I rode him in the trails.
Yeah, and then you rode him dressage, I remember that. And then you rode him dressage, you had a dressage saddle, and you tried to ride a dressage. And then somebody bought him when he was 14, and then gelded him and had him as a trail horse for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Super pretty horse.
He was a good horse. The interesting thing about him was he was sent out to a proper trainer.
Yeah.
He ended up with a chip in his knee.
Yeah.
So that he'd stand in ice water up to his elbows.
Yeah.
For hours before a race, so he couldn't feel the chip of the knee. And he raced like that a few times, and he did fairly. You know, he didn't pay the hay bill, but he at least wasn't dead last.
He got the check for the tax deduction.
That's
he had
right.
balls, and he was racing.
Yes. And where was I going with that one?
He was really pretty. Yeah, he was a nice horse.
When we brought him home at one point to rest him up so we didn't have to pay the trainer while he was resting up from something. And I wanted to ride him, and I thought, well, I could ride around the racetrack with him, you know, for the hell of it. I took him down to Suffolk Downs, and I went onto the track, and he stood straight up in the air, and he said, I'm not going to go here again. He hated it.
I didn't know.
People always say, oh, they love to run. He did not like it.
Yeah.
He wanted no part of it. My other interesting thing was Tom claimed a horse for $35,000 once.
Yeah.
I forgot its name.
Yeah.
And I ponied it at Suffolk Downs. I was riding a quarter horse.
Harvey.
And when I came around the corner and turned the horse in, I had more offers on Tony. And nobody wanted any part of this thoroughbred that I had.
Really?
Because a good pony, which she is now.
On Harvey. More offers on Harvey.
Harvey was the quarter horse.
Yeah.
I could have made millions on him.
Yeah.
Because he would not kick anybody.
That was the horse that we got. By the way, Tony took off my finger. Yes, Tony took off the top of my finger.
With his foot.
Yeah, yeah.
He stepped on it.
He stepped on it.
He stepped on it because I was being nursed at Tom's office when this happened. And Gwen called and said the horse just took off the end of her finger, took off her finger.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what or whatever, so I ended up calling the police instead of her, not whatever.
Yeah.
And had them take her right down to the hospital. It was only a very little tip of the finger. Which hurt.
My finger.
And then the guy sewed her up, the plastic surgeon sewed it up.
Yep.
And then when we went down to have the stitches taken out, he pulled the knot through the wound. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
How can you forget?
And then he put on the Novocaine
Afterwards,
and then, cause I had it blew up into a abscess, I guess.
oh,
And they put on spray Novocaine, and then he went to pop the abscess with the pin, and then it exploded. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, but
His jacket caught fire. He was patting out his
Yeah.
jacket. Here's my poor little child running around. Fire! It's fire!
But anyways, the Harvey was the one that we got from that weird barn in Saugus,
August.
and they owned him. He was standing in a stall, a little tiny stall with a little tiny back area where he could go out and I have dirt in my nose. It was so filthy. And they were afraid to go in the stall with him. They just poured water over the top. They didn't clean the stall.
Because he kicked.
Because he kicks. But his mane was beautiful, his long mane. Because she would sit there and pat and brush his mane, and her dad wouldn't let her go in the stall with him. And he would just stand there and you could pat it. But if you touched his legs, he would kick you. He would try to kill you.
He was that way.
Until
he
he died.
kicked people. He would never kick another horse.
Yeah, to get the blacksmith in, you had to knock him completely down.
He never had shoes on the back.
Yeah, no. We've got him to the point where you could pick up a front foot. I still think we had, but he would like cower. You'd pick up the foot and the whole horse would be so nervous and shaking. I don't know what happened to that horse, but he was.
I do. We put him down.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh God, I remember that. Okay. Tappy and Harvey had went together. Yeah, they were two really older horses, so you euthanized them.
And I didn't want to turn him loose into society for fear that they'd up.
Yeah, and they were really old, and it was in November. You made Dad and I do it, by the way.
I know.
I don't know where you were, but Dad and I ended up having to take the horses. It was awful, but okay.
They used to have a place here in
Taunton.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Taunton.
Yeah, you could take horses.
And that is needed. I mean,
It is. Yeah, no, I agree because they were old. It was winter, and that was
I
awful.
didn't have enough money for that.
Yeah, no, but they were also really old and unsound, and we've already fed them for 10 years. Yeah, so.
Tacky had been a pony at the racetrack.
Oh yeah.
Till they got him down to skin and bones.
Yeah.
And when I ever saw the way that horse looked, I took him right back, and we fattened him up again. And he worked for about 5 years with the handicap kids.
Yeah. Oh, over at Windrush. Forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tacky had a
He
good
had a
life.
wonderful time over there. They took very good care
Yeah,
of
he
him.
was in Appaloosa.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All these old horses, but so anyways, yeah.
Okay, so now what do we do? Now we're fooling a bunch of. Why don't I have a thing on the 19th about taking a picture of Arthur with his face, his head, with somebody kissing him? Because of me kissing my ass, right?
Yeah.
And somehow we could get some mileage out of that. It's $1. Take your picture.
Well, at one point I built a kissing booth, and the doggies would stand there with their head out the kissing booth.
Yeah, that would be a good thing.
Yeah, I actually had it. It was in the hayloft. I don't know what happened to
oh
it.
my God, you didn't clear it out, did you?
Yeah, it's probably got thrown out with all the service dog
She
records.
probably threw it out.
Yeah, I've gone down that route. Yeah, my years of
Well, that would be
rescue.
funny, you know.
Yeah, we get a lot of them that would. Arthur's a little shy though.
What?
He's a little shy.
Dimitri's not.
Dimitri's not.
Dimitri's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
He would be good. He's the grey one that's the second tallest.
Yeah. And let me
He's
see what we
nice.
have for comments. So here we go.
Yes.
So this
Okay.
woman wants us to bring the goat
Yep.
and Elvis.
Elvis.
Okay. I said I would bring. Well, I was originally it started off. I was dropping you off with a couple dogs because she originally just wanted dogs. And then we got talking about she really loves the goats and Elvis. And next thing you know, I'm going and I'm bringing Elvis and a goat. I'm bringing. I don't want to stay the whole day. No.
Okay.
I have too many projects. I'm trying to get ready for the grand opening on May 5th. Is it May 5th?
I don't know. You told me May 1st. What day is it?
Well, what? Do you have a calendar? Oh, it's on
Mine's
The
my phone.
lusty month of May.
All right. Okay, so let's get this settled on the calendar date because this is starting to be important. Okay, so that's May. To get to
It's the 19th.
May 3rd is the day. May 3rd is the grand opening day. We got so much. We're making progress though every day. Making progress. May 3rd is our opening day. We should start talking about that. May 3rd. Okay, so let's see. Oh, one thing I did too is I took the chairs and I put them out on the little deck outside. I'll take a picture. It looks fantastic.
As soon as it gets a little warmer, I'll go out there right away.
Bud was here today and he figured out, we've had like 20 people try to figure out why we have no water in the barn. You see us carrying around water all the time because the water in the tack room is not working. And we finally, Bud came in. Everybody's looked at it. Bud came in and said, oh, well, what the problem is that when you, because the pipes broke, when you shut it off in the emergency, you broke the handle and it's on the, it appears to be in the on position, but it's broken off in the off position. So we got to get a plumber out here to replace the handle and
Just a small technicality.
yeah,
Bud's very handy to have
Yeah.
around.
yeah.
And his eyes are super.
Yeah.
His eyes are super.
You know, I didn't recognize him. He went to meet us at one of these
In
nursing
Rockport,
homes, and I didn't recognize him.
I've never seen him without his glasses on.
Oh, Fernanda said, we should see, I want to see that video of that horse jumping out the window. I saw it from the inside and I was shocked.
I saw it from on the phone with the vet. I was like, uh-oh.
All we can do at this point is just laugh at
I
how
know.
crazy these horses
I know.
have been. What happens if Noble gets a broken leg? Well, in most cases, you would put her down. But I don't think it.
Yeah, the fact that we have one that we're healing is a little bit peculiar.
Well, she just has a chip. She came to us with a chip.
A chip fracture.
Yeah, a chip fracture. That's what Tony had.
Yeah.
So then it comes down to I don't know how much it costs to get the chip out and serviceably sound. I don't know, but I think because when I got here today, she was lying down on the hill. When I left last night at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, she was fine. There's nothing in the paddock that she could have hurt herself on. She was lying down, got back up, and she was crippled. So that's what I'm guessing is what's happening. And Wallace has said that she's taken some bad steps on him, too.
Well, did one of the other horses kick her?
I didn't see any marks.
No damage to her
No
leg
damage,
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And not only that, Dr. Parrott's going to come tomorrow. He's going to look at her, and then if need be, she'll be x-rayed.
Yeah.
She's not our horse. No, it's Hidden Pond that are dealing with this. So, but we'll just facilitate the vet coming.
Okay.
So it's their decision what they want to do with her.
Yeah.
I always am asking, what is the final purpose of that horse anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, take a whole bunch of x-rays or just let it get better or whatever.
I think that take an x-ray, see what's going on. Get a cost on how much it is to get the chip out, because that would give her full mobility of that leg, and see where we're at. She doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities as far as I'm concerned, but I think if
She's quite young.
she's young.
If she's
She is the one
gonna
that kicked me.
if she's gonna wound her owner,
Yeah, that's bad. That's
That's
pretty
a bad
bad.
thing.
That's pretty bad. She just yeah. So
I mean, you guys are putting up with it because you know animals.
right.
But you take some of these horses, they cannot be.
I read this thing the other day on Facebook about someone had shared it, how the next generation of riders they all want perfect horses. And I see it with my friends. They're trying to buy horses and there's not a single horse out there. They've been looking for months for the right horse and they can't find a horse. And I'm thinking, I'm getting calls left and right. Will you take my horse? There's so many horses in the rescue pipeline, but they're not perfect. They're not perfectly trained. They're not, they don't, to buy a horse, my friends' budgets are between $20,000 and $30,000. That's what you have to pay to get a nice horse. But do you know how many thousands of horses are for sale for, under
40 cents a pound.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
all of those nice horses, those $20,000 a horse is not like a motorcycle. They will untrain. If you are working with a horse and you don't, like this horse, humility, if I get him walking in and out of that stall nicely, and he goes to a home that doesn't continue that training, he'll go right back to where he was.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you get these horses that are being sold for $25,000 as a nice, safe horse, but then nobody's continuing their training. They're smart. They're gonna figure out, well, I have a friend who bought a quarter horse, a nice, expensive, well-bred quarter horse. And over time, she's had it for a couple of years now, and that horse has learned to spin, and she falls off and they go home. Yep. And Lincoln tried to learn, you know, Lincoln did the same thing to me. He would, you know, and I would fall off, but I would get right back on and keep going. And I got to the point where I would see a cow and be like, okay, when I see a cow, usually I fall off next. Yeah, so.
I think the best horse we had for that was Gold Rush, was the Palomino.
The Palomino. People say you gotta talk louder. Yeah.
The Palomino.
Yeah.
He was a quarter horse, but he was a Western pleasure horse, is what he'd been shown as.
Yep.
Loose rein, just
And
move
they
on.
rode it. The horses do well when they're ridden and handled all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what makes a good horse.
Nothing 20 miles would
And that
do.
horse, we had him. We rode him all the time. And then he went to Dita, and
Yeah.
she rode him all the time. And then
Rex
the horse
Trailer.
got old, and Rex Trailer would ride him
Yes.
in parades, and that's the parade we did. There's a picture out there somewhere. Rex Trailer is a local celebrity, people that all over the world wouldn't know, but in Boston, he was like Captain Kangaroo, and I don't know, the kids loved him as the local cowboy who's on television on channel something, and he was the local cowboy. And we did a parade with him. He must have been maybe even older than you. And we got him up on the horse, got everything all sorted. We started down through Wakefield, and I was sidewalking on one side. I think Dita was on the other side. And slowly, over time, he started listing to the left. Dita's got his walking along, holding his foot. The girth is tight, holding his foot on the right, and I'm ready to catch on the left, trying and smiling and waving at people the whole time. And that horse was just like walking. It wasn't the horse or the saddle or anything, it was Rex that was going. Yeah, so. Yep, can't make these stories up. Holy crap, I'm really like, I'm surprised.
No, you
surprised
can't.
I'm still, yeah.
Well, while you're talking about misbehaving animals, I have a feeling Penny was returned to her breeder for being awfully lively.
She is awfully lively. Where is she, by the way?
Yeah, I have a feeling
Where
that
is
somebody.
Where is Larky? Oh, I put him in the pond.
You put it outside. I have a feeling that she was a cute little puppy and they had their hands full.
Yeah, she is a handful.
She is a handful.
She's definitely. You tell her to go lie down. She goes and she lies down for 2 seconds,
And then
she
your head
gets up.
started.
Then she's back, and then you're like, no, go lie down. And then she knows whether you have a cookie or no cookie.
She's a smart cookie.
She's a smart cookie. She's fine. I'm going to go try for agility stuff. If I get that the one little jump over there, out from underneath her trailer.
Noelle is not the only girl. The Willow is a girl too.
Yes.
Do we foresee a monthly newsletter? Yeah, I think that could be possible. That would be something that we could do.
What?
A monthly newsletter. Yeah. We have a lot that goes on every day. So tell them about your job today.
The job was at one of these gathering centers where it was not a live-in deal. It was just a daycare, stop in for coffee type thing. And there were quite a few people, like 15 or so people.
Yeah.
And somebody had their grandchildren.
Oh, okay.
Tiny, very small children. And I was a little leery because I was afraid that Penny might think it was a toy.
Yeah, she hasn't met.
The other two dogs were pretty good about it, but we had a good time, and I told them that I charged a cup of coffee, and she came running out with a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that was the first time we've done I've never been there before.
I haven't either.
It's in Essex. And also she went with our intern by herself. I went with the intern Jake yesterday. I forgot, we gotta text him and ask him, do you have his? Can you text him and ask him for the pictures? But we're supposed to take pictures.
Oh, my phone's up there.
Oh, your phone's up there. And so he took pictures yesterday with his first job. But you went out today, this was his second job, and not only did he have the complications of his second job, but he had Carlene, so they went
In
by
the
themselves
wheelchair.
in the wheelchair. And I said, just don't worry, just she'll be barking orders left and right. Just
Yeah.
try to survive.
We didn't ever get to the point of having the dogs lie down and go to the, you know.
Yeah.
It was too
Well,
confusing because he just sort of put the.
yeah, we didn't do that yesterday either with, we didn't do that. I
We
haven't
have
done
to,
that.
we have to do it controlled because you got too many dogs in one person with one, you know.
Yeah.
You've ruined the whole.
Yeah.
You can't take the picture, etc.
Yeah.
So we need to have control of our dogs.
Yeah, but we need to also teach him how to do that, because I didn't teach him how to do that.
Well, we got to do that.
And the other problem that we have now is Colby, my son, stopped by on his way out to, he's going out to
Someplace.
Washington State. He's taken 2 months off from work and is going on an adventure. On an adventure, a sabbatical. I guess they do that
Yeah.
on his job, is he's an engineer at a company up in Portland, and it's a regular thing that you can go on sabbatical. That's just part of the young generation of a workforce that I had no understanding. They only work 5 days a week. He only works 5 days a week. I work 7. Come
How
on.
many vacation days does he
I
get?
know, like 100. No, they gets to take as many as he wants. He doesn't. Yeah, it's one of those where if he wants to go on vacation, he can just go. And he's taking a sabbatical to do this. And they're supportive of it because they want happy employees. So anyways,
So where would you like to go?
yeah, where would you like to go?
Oh,
Oh,
no, how would I miss out on?
yeah,
it?
when do I get to take a sabbatical? He stopped by and I was like, oh, you haven't seen the bunnies? Come see the bunnies. Those bunnies bit him. And I was like, they don't bite. I picked them up, one of them bit me. We are back to ground. We're going to have to train bunnies.
Oh no!
Yeah, little biters. I mean, it didn't hurt, but it was definitely waking up.
Bunnies.
Bad bunnies.
Bad bunny.
Bad bunny. Like, what do we do when they bite? I told them not to do that, but then they bit me again, so obviously that didn't work. I don't know how to train
You're
a
not
bunny.
speaking
Can
rabbit.
someone please Google how we're supposed to deal with biting bunnies? Because that wasn't fun today.
Biting big bunnies.
Big bunnies, yeah.
Large
I
bunny.
mean, I've got clothes on right now, so it just bit a little bit of skin, and it wasn't enough to
Well,
hurt.
yeah, but we don't want to put them in somebody's
yeah.
lap.
Yeah, I'm not putting it on anyone's lap.
No. I think rolling around in my wheelchair would be a good thing with them.
Yeah, they always, I put them right here. They're nice and comfortable. Oh, bastard bit me. Wasn't uncomfortable or anything. So, yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
So he was charmed by our rabbits.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, Mom, my dog's biting me. I'm like, they don't bite. He's just biting me. Yeah.
Excellent.
So there's that.
Oh.
Elizabeth has kindly offered to help feed tonight.
What?
She's offered to help feed tonight. Probably because I bought you lunch today.
Yeah. Quid pro quo.
Yeah. And I'm staying in the Airstream tonight. Change of scenery. So,
I missed out on that conversation.
yeah.
She's going to be here tonight over there.
Yep, I'm staying in the Airstream tonight. It's nice and warm. I'm kind of excited about it.
Good.
Girls' night out. Well, just me and Wanda.
And Wanda.
Yep. So I'm trying. My goal for today was to have enough energy at the end of the day to make the bed in the Airstream. And it's like
That's
I'm
wicked.
wavering because I've been shoveling and dragging and moving.
Like the manure pile was driving the tractor. That's not too
The
tiring.
manure loading and getting rid of the manure was yesterday.
I-
Today, because I brought a bunch of it up in strategic places to grow grass, moving that around was
And that's like fodder grass, not
Yeah.
smoking grass.
because I basically took all the manure because once you get through the hay stuff, the recent hay, and you get into the deep, that manure pile has been there for almost a year.
Percolating.
Yeah, so that stuff in there was really good.
Good black dirt.
Yeah, so I brought it all up and I put it up by the cabin. So Michelle comes out. And I made piles, and I was like, well, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll move it around. So I'm sure Michelle got up this morning and looked outside and was like, why did Janine put shit all over my front yard? But I moved it around. Then I talked to her. She's happy.
Why have you got a spoon in your shoe?
No, we're not even feeding them. Okay, so someone's asking,
Where to put it?
are the bunnies getting treats hour? We're not even giving them treats. Are the, oh, we should neuter them. Maybe it's time we neutered them.
That could be.
Yeah.
Do you know, I didn't know you neutered bunnies. I thought you only neutered them if you had females.
People have all told me that we have to neuter them. That's what they need. They need to.
Where are all the animals going?
Oh. I thought you were looking out the window. I'm like,
No.
up the driveway? Yeah, no, she watches the arena cam.
Watching the camera.
She is the worst camera person. She's like, she texts me at 11 o'clock. Now, I'm not even here. I'm in Hamilton. The horses have no water. And I'm like, Mom, we've been through this. Through text message. I'm like, barely awake. We've been through this. There's also a bucket outside. Don't worry. They can go outside. Well, they just tipped over the water bucket. Yeah, worst camera person. Jake, outside of the White House. Jake cleaned the outside of the White House. Wait, Fernanda, wait till you see. I'll post it, the picture after of the outside of the White House, because I moved the furniture over there so she could sit out there and have coffee. So very excited. You guys, I'm hoping that you come, these Goldy's warriors. I'm building it, so I hope you guys, they say, build it and they will come. Now that's what I'm hoping.
We had people come last year, so that would be good.
Yeah. And the people that came, Mary's coming back.
Now, Mary was coming this month, but she's not.
Oh, Mary is?
No, she's coming later in the year.
Okay.
What?
And
I know that there's someone coming on May 12th, 10. It's in the calendar.
who's that?
It's in the calendar. She's coming with her family,
How do you see
and
it?
they're staying in a hotel.
Oh,
She sent. I put it in the calendar.
I don't see the calendar though.
Oh God, you people. I live by that calendar.
I have never seen the. I've seen it once, and then I couldn't access it again.
I've never seen it.
Oh God.
Nobody ever tells
I
me
live
what's
by
going
every
on.
morning. Jake asked me, "Do we have a job tomorrow?" And I said, "Yes." Where are we going? I have no idea, but every night before I go to bed, I look at it and I write it on a little piece of paper where we're going.
He pulled a little piece of paper out of his pocket and he said, "We're going to 17 Perkins Street."
Yeah.
I said, you got the name of the place? No.
You got a telephone number.
Telephone number?
Yeah.
Yep.
It did say on the bottom Essex COA, so yeah, but it did write it on there. Yeah, so I live by that calendar, and I thought that calendar. I can't figure out Google. Maybe Brittany can help us with this, because I thought it was open to everybody, because I would like everybody to see our calendar, because you'll see why we're so frazzled all the time, because we are going. It's
We're going
exhausting
out
to go out and do these jobs, especially when there's a lot of people, and then come back and do manual labor for the rest of the day, getting the place cleaned up. But it's all good. Is the calendar's all online? It's on a Google document calendar. If anybody, and I thought I went in and I made it public so everybody could see it.
No, I think it's because I'm on an iPad. It doesn't like iPads.
Okay, that could be it. But the people, all the nursing homes,
Mm-hmm.
they can go out there and you click on book a visit, and then it shows them the days that are available. And you know when the next day that's available?
No.
It's like the end of April. We have one day available in April. The next 2 weeks. So
And there was some sort of email that got sent out incorrectly about
nobody else has seen that email.
getting in touch with me.
No,
And they
Linda
haven't
can
let-
see.
I checked it. It's okay,
Okay.
and I'll tell you after mail chat what it was.
Okay.
Well, if you're getting in touch with me, keep in mind I am deaf. Sometimes I don't hear the phone ring at all,
Yes.
so I'm not a very good contact.
Savita. Tomorrow's Savita.
Where's that?
That's over in Danvers. I was thinking about doing a chicken bingo, because last time we were there, we brought the bunnies. And I was thinking of chicken bingo. Yeah.
What's the address on that one?
That's that place that's over by where the old tax store used to be. What's the tax store?
Danvers tax store?
No. What's it?
Is there a tax store in Danvers?
On 114, the place that they used to have that tax store we'd always go to. That's over here, equestrian shop. The old equestrian shop. Remember where that was?
That was Andover.
Right. Okay, so we're going to Andover tomorrow, not Danvers. Because that's where we're going.
Oh!
Yeah, yeah. It's in North Andover, and Cloud is.
I was
correct.
trying to put Danvers together with Avita, and I'm thinking,
Yeah, no, Savita, with an S on it.
I don't.
Speaking of Cloud, I can't find my link's not working to the Cloud documents, and I need it because, yay, I've finished the taxes for Goldy's farm.
And you're going to put it on the cloud.
And
Documents.
but there's a schedule O that I'm supposed to do, which I've done.
What's
But
an
I
O?
wanted to also put, because they asked for your mission, and I wanted to put underneath the mission, not that any IRS person is going to see it, but I wanted to put the
Mission statement.
our KPIs. This is what we did for the year, because we have it. We should use it. And then we're going to start needing to use that for the grants. So, but my link wasn't working the other day. Could have been me though.
Wasn't you, it wasn't me, because we weren't doing it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it's tax or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, tax stuff. Yeah, it's all due. I had to do. I did ERN taxes and Goldy's farm taxes. I remember last year I went to an accountant and asked about doing the taxes, and they wanted $6,000 to do the taxes for ERN and that was mine too, for all three. Like just wanted to dump everything with her and go, next year can you do all the taxes? I'll give you all the materials throughout the year. Just I don't want to deal with taxes. And she said to get an estimate, and she said $6,000, and I said no. So I did them. And I mean, they're as right as, I'm not an accountant, but they look pretty good.
It's not that difficult if you don't have to get back into the legal description of what you're supposed to be doing. If you just kind of follow the rules,
Yeah, well,
add this, subtract
no,
that.
what I do is everything at Goldy's farm is paid for electronic. There's should be no cash payments on anything. Everything's electronic, so therefore everything that comes in through PayPal, for Goldy's farm, it's PayPal and the checkbooks. So the bank. So I go through the bank statements one by one. That's what I did when I was in Aiken. And every transaction I put into a spreadsheet and I categorize it, what it was, and then I total it all up at the end of the year, and then I pull in all the PayPal stuff and I total all that up, and miraculously, it matched.
Sorry, I was watching the
Pretty close. Pretty close. It was pretty close. And then there was like I forgot this, I should have caught on that, and then it got down to, we're $14 off. So I said we had $14 in cash.
We probably had.
Yeah, so. Because it asks you your ending balance in your bank statements, and then they have an ending balance in cash. And I really think they put that in so that you don't pull your hair out trying to figure out where you lost $14. Let's see. Congratulations. Taxes are a lot of work. Well done. And you guys can all see it after I post it to the IRS. It goes up on GuideStar, and you can see it on a bunch of different locations. And you can see everything that is accounted for.
Okay.
For both ERN and for Goldy's farm. Yep. So I think that's looking on it on my, okay, so Joe can see the calendar on his iPhone, his iPad, and his Mac. So basically it's a,
So now he's saying it's me. Well, it could be, but I can't see it.
it is available to anyone. It's just
Me.
Um,
Or Carlene. We like a surprise every day. We like a surprise every day.
You should be able to open them up. When I look, there was one, Marcia, when I looked the other day, there was only one day that was open in April. But May still, like, when I first went on April, towards the end of March, I looked and I'm like, oh God, we have nothing going on in April. And then everybody booked. Like, they're all on that same schedule, so it does fill up. So I don't worry that we don't have stuff on our calendar anymore. People are asking, how's Nick doing?
He's living, he's working. Keeps him going, keeps him busy and out of trouble.
Yeah, okay. 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 So I think we've gone through all the questions. We are now going to go out and do the barn work, and then I'm going to hopefully have enough energy to make the bed in the Airstream. My girl night.
What are you having for supper?
Oh, see, here it comes.
Oh, I got nothing.
Well, there is that salad.
What do you have? What do we have in your fridge for you?
That's in this fridge.
Yeah, well, we could go and get, how about, what's that? Chicken, marsupial chicken?
Marsala.
Chicken marsala. I could get that.
Oh. You'd have to do that yourself.
Well, if I get one of those, that's enough for 2 people.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I really don't eat that much. What I have on my eye on is some of that salad with the Marie's coleslaw dressing.
All right, well, I'll just eat all the chicken marsala myself.
Ooh, there you go.
Let's see if
That comes from 466?
For accessing, make sure you're aware of, there's been lots of news about IRS and Social Security sites. New requirements for accessing, make sure okay, so I should go check that, because I didn't do research on, I've been doing the taxes for ERN for years. I didn't do research on anything. It's basically pretty simple. They ask you what the services you provided are, what you bought, what were expenses for the year, and then I put that into categories, and you put all of those into Schedule O. So I'll check that. I'll see if there's anything new that and then how many donations do you keep? We're small. If you are over 150, like, we can still do the 990 short form, which is pretty simple. Over 150 gets really very difficult. I've had to do that for ERN, and that's a headache, but I've done it. They ask you a lot more.
I thought it was
detail.
$500,000.
When you get to when you get to 250,000, then you're required to have the CPA prepare your taxes.
And it's not just a normal CPA, it's a special CPA.
Yeah, and the Service Dog Project had, because of the 250, they were over 250 for 20 years. They had the real CPA.
Yeah.
And
That's a pain in the neck.
It's a pain in the neck. Yeah, you have to. They have all these requirements, and you've got to have electronic systems to capture this and that, and yeah. So let's hope
one of the questions on that complicated thing is, are you running a tanning booth? Now, give me a break. That is one of the questions on this.
Oh, I know what you're. Yeah.
Write down that long list.
There's a long list. There's
Are
like
you
5
running a
pages of
tanning
nothing.
booth?
'Cause
Have
all
they
of the
looked at
990s.
us?
Right.
Again, all of the 990s are available online for
Yep.
every nonprofit. You could just go to GuideStar or any other service and just do a search, and you can see what percentage of their donations go to their mission. It's really what they want to know, and it's because, first of all, with Goldys Farm and with ERN, well, ERN 100%, but Goldys Farm, we do have a few people that we pay, so we do have a salary. I think it was like 20,000, something like that this year, to help us take care of the animals, because we need it. I can't do everything. It's too much work. We need to have people around here doing the things that they do.
Volunteers can't.
Yeah, we're beyond that. So, yeah. So that number will probably stay the same in 2025. So,
Is that Arthur?
scratching his head. Yes, that does appear to be Arthur. The other guys, I could see that they're playing with the ball outside. All right.
No, it must be Dimitri. Look, there's Arthur in the hill. See, Dimitri
That's-
looks like
Oh,
Arthur
yeah, when in that light.
in
yeah.
that light, doesn't he?
I think Wallace will be riding tonight, but I'm not sure.
Yes, he's supposed to be.
I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
All right, our people are calling. They're saying, "Come feed us."
Oh,
We'll see everyone. Good night.
I'm going.
I can't even get up.
Boom, 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 boom.